You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Today is Monday, April 5th, 2021, and this is your daily Star Trek news. We're back from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. On today's show, it's First Contact Day. I'm bringing you the lowdown on today's big official Star Trek event. Also, how you can join the festivities in Star Trek Online. We've also got a bit of news from last week when we were off. The Star Trek Voyager documentary To the Voyage has been fully funded and then some with a record-breaking Indiegogo campaign. I'm Alison Pitt, and today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. Today is April 5th, also known as First Contact Day. It's the day when, in 2063, human scientist Zefram Cochrane made his first warp flight in his Phoenix rocket, and the Vulcans who'd been monitoring humanity's progress made first contact. It's a day of celebration of our future history, and there are a few events going on to mark the occasion. First up, if you're looking for a special way to celebrate First Contact Day, StarTrek.com and Paramount Plus may have what you're looking for, and it won't cost you a penny. Last week, a post on StarTrek.com detailed the schedule for a very special First Contact Day celebration. The totally free event, which is taking place today and possibly right now, depending on when you're listening to this, includes a marathon of Star Trek episodes and a series of live panels covering the breadth of the Star Trek universe. For US-based fans, the festivities begin today at 9 a.m. Pacific Time with part 1 of a marathon of Star Trek episodes, featuring a First Contact-themed episode from each of the 10 series across the 55-year history of the franchise. At noon Pacific Time, the marathon will break for a series of Star Trek global panels. The panels will be available to fans everywhere and will be hosted by Star Trek The Next Generation actor Will Wheaton and Mika Burton, daughter of Wheaton's TNG co-star, LeVar Burton. Sir Patrick Stewart will open the panels with a special presentation. Ooh. And that's followed up by a conversation with Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, and Alice Krieg as they discuss filming Star Trek First Contact and the importance of the film 25 years later. The next panel, Creating First Contacts, will feature Star Trek Discovery costume designer Gersha Phillips and Star Trek Picard senior concept designer Neville Page, VFX supervisor Jason Zimmerman, and makeup and prosthetics department head James McKinnon, as they dive deep into the world building that goes into Discovery and Picard. Star Trek actors Issa Briones, Michelle Hurd, Dawn Lewis, and Sonequa Martin Green join forces in the next panel, Women in Motion. The 4 Trek veterans will look back at the impact that TOS actor Nichelle Nichols made on science, culture, and the future of women and people of color on television. Next on the schedule is the Second Contact panel. In this panel, Star Trek Lower Decks creator Mike McMahon, Star Trek The Pod Directive co-host Paul F. Tompkins, and Star Trek The Next Generation stars Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner will discuss how some of Star Trek's B-plots have helped shape what Star Trek would become, including the addition of Lower Decks, the franchise's first animated comedy. Now, the final panel will feature Star Trek Prodigy executive producers Kevin and Dan Hageman, along with Kate Mulgrew, as the trio discuss the new CG animated Nickelodeon series, which is currently in production. The marathon of First Contact episodes picks back up at 2:45 p.m. Pacific Time, and will continue till 6 p.m. Pacific Time, at which time the panels will be rebroadcast. Fans are encouraged to participate in the Star Trek United Gives campaign on First Contact Day. For every person who tweets using the hashtag Star Trek United Gives today, April 5th, Paramount Plus will donate $1 to organizations who do the real-world work of championing equality, social justice, and the pursuit of scientific advancements. All of today's episodes and panels are free to watch at StarTrek.com/First Contact. Now, next up, it's not just First Contact Day out here in the real world. It's also First Contact Day inside the world of Star Trek Online. From now through April 22nd, players of the massively multiplayer online role-playing game can take part in the festivities in a special event they're holding simultaneously on PC and console. It's a tremendously popular annual in-game event, and this year's got a few new surprises as well. Players can participate in 3 events this year, team up with 7 of 9, voiced by Jerry Ryan, to stop the Borg in 21st century Montana. You can participate in a recreation of the synth attack from Star Trek Picard in the Synthwave TFO, and of course, who can forget the famous Phoenix rocket launch competition, where you can build your own model Phoenix rocket, as designed by Zefram Cochrane himself. Participating in these events earn you progress tokens, which you can save up to unlock the grand prize, the Martian mining laser ground weapon. Other prizes up for grabs during the event are account-wide comm badges, dilithium ore, a toy rocket social device, and a Phoenix rocket holo emitter, among others. Star Trek Online is free to play and available for PCs, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. To find out more, just head to StarTrekOnline.com. Now, I've got more news in a moment, but first, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online counseling service that aims to get you the help you need in a way that suits you. If there's something standing in the way between you and a more happy life, then maybe BetterHelp can help. When you sign up for BetterHelp, they ask you about you, and they use that to find a licensed professional therapist who's tailored to your needs. Depression, sleep issues, and anxiety are just some of the areas they specialize in, but they also have counselors who can help coach you through family conflicts, self-esteem issues, or even LGBT matters. Whatever it is that you need, you can start living a happier life today. And as a daily Star Trek news listener, you can get 10% off your first month of BetterHelp by visiting betterhelp.com/DSTN. And that's help, HELP. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health by visiting betterhelp.com/DSTN. That's HELP, betterhelp.com/DSTN. And a big thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's show. Next up today, the upcoming documentary To the Journey, looking back at Star Trek Voyager from 455 Films, has set a new record for having the most successful crowdfunding campaign for a documentary film. The campaign raised nearly $1.3 million, with contributions from almost 12,000 fans. TrekNews.net reported the achievement last week during the last few hours of a month-long campaign, which saw funding take off at warp speed on day 1, only to later add a series of stretch goals for the film all the way up to $1 million. With the money, the production team is planning to expand the film to at least 90 minutes, have an original score composed for the documentary, license the original Star Trek Voyager theme music, and digitally remaster all of the footage from Voyager episodes that will be used in the film. Among other plans, the producers also hope to include a never-before-seen Voyager surprise. Of course, as is the way with licensing agreements, many of those stretch goals will depend on approval from Viacom CBS. William Shatner congratulated the success of the campaign on social media by retweeting Kate Mulgrew with a message which reads, "I've been hearing such good things about the Voyager doc. Congratulations, Kate Mulgrew, for having your show take the crown for all of the Star Trek world and becoming the top crowdfunded doc of all time." Now, if you have yet to contribute to the Indiegogo campaign for To the Journey, and you'd like to, or if you'd just like to contribute again, the campaign page will remain open on Indiegogo throughout the month of April. Visit Indiegogo.com to learn more. Now, there's just one last thing today before I go. If you are not already following the official Star Trek account on Twitter, that's @StarTrek, today might be a good day to hit that follow button. Yesterday evening, they posted a short video picking up a strange signal that contained coordinates to a convention center in Chicago, with the caption, "We're picking up a strange transmission on subspace, attempting to boost the signal. ... It sounds like there might be a big announcement incoming, and of course, as soon as it drops, you'll hear it from us too. Well, that's it for today's daily Star Trek news from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Don't forget to check out the other great shows on the network at podcasts.roddenberry.com. Daily Star Trek News is produced by me, Alison Pitt, with selected stories by Chris Peterson. Today's show was sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling with betterhelp.com/DSTN. And my cat Simba is making a special appearance on today's episode. I'm back tomorrow with more of the Star Trek news you need to know and this week's Trek Trivia. I'm Alison Pitt. Live long and prosper.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.